Afternoon, fuckers. Well, sometimes I say, where do we start? Or it feels like I've come full circle. Well, where do we start? It feels like I've come full circle. Folks, first of all, the rocket. Turns out last night, look, that prism, the Pink Floyd thing, the prism, I did it for something else. Yesterday, and so many things have happened since then. This is surplus to requirement. I was going to do it for something else, but everything has changed. But it's staying because I did too fucking good a job. So it's staying for a while, and then I'll use it somehow. Last night, this direction here, right? Saw these bushes when I was doing it. So it's up there. It was coming from the west. Well, sorry, north-northwest, right? And it was headed east southeast. Now, a Chinese rocket, apparently. That's what we've heard. But this thing, right? It was a monster. I am talking, it was big. It was far, far away. It's hard to explain, but you just know the size of it. I don't know. The weird thing is about it, it was going this way, and it had these lights, but there was kind of two, slightly blue and really thin here, and kind of like that, and then the front lights. Look, Chinese rocket. What it? Those things were shining. I don't know how far in front of it, but what was it shining on? This is a thing, right? Look, I don't know. It looked like when everything pointed towards it going that way because all the freaking coming behind it. But look, I don't know. Would I, if somebody said, "Is that a rocket?" I'd have gone, "Don't know, I'm not sure." It's weird. Look, that's all I can say. That is all I can say about that one. But such vague things on the press, like, "Oh, Chinese rocket, no, that's it." Like, no write-up, just boom, that's it, get over it. I don't know. I'm not saying it was a UFO, but I don't know what it was. Now, this flat, round thing, flat Earth, round Earth, folks, look, all of a sudden I've got friends, three childhood friends in 2 different countries, messaging me, saying, "Yeah, but how is this then? And how is that then?" And it's like, far out, what's going on? I have to say something here. There's 2 questions, right? It has to start with 2 questions, right? Creation, evolution, all this kind of stuff. Big Bang. Was it the Big Bang? The Big Bang. Look, it's Big Bang, right? So this is the one where Big Bang, expansion of the universe, asteroids, boom, 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 something mixed with something in an ocean, and boom, up we sprouted, evolution, here we are. It's good. Then we have the creator, the Jesus thing, 6 days, I don't know, because then you have to say it yourself. But where did they come from? And where did they come from? There's always going to be well, how did it start? And nobody can answer that question. This is the only answer. Nobody knows. Everything that is written in one of these, people, you have to understand, right? It's a book. People write books. Just because it's written in a book doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's not true either. But we're not talking about true things. We're talking about stuff that isn't true. It doesn't matter what kind of book it is, right? A book is a book. Letters, hands, people write books. So how it all started, look, I'm sorry, what gives me the right? This is just my freaking age, all right? I've had a bit of experience and I've taken notes of things lately. We don't know. We don't know. All we know is there are people out there who are claiming achievements that haven't been achieved, claiming knowledge that cannot be known, and they're creating division, right? The lies are everywhere and they're so obvious. So as for the Big Bang, I used to love all of that stuff. When you're young and you hear about the stuff and you think, oh, I love it. And you get involved in it and then you think you're all knowledgeable. Because when you talk to people, you can say stuff, oh yeah, he's clever. But hang on. Nobody has any evidence of a Big Bang. Again, it's been taught. There's no evidence. Did you know that the Big Bang Theory came from a priest in the 1930s or something? Something like that. Look, there's no evidence. Fossils and radiocarbon dating, all of it. People lie. People lie. And when you can talk people into believing that they have discovered the truth about where we're from, of course people will listen. And then when you get to the children real early, that's it. You can't get back out of it because we're all children at one stage and we all get taught the same. And before you know it, everything is about the children. Everything is about the children. It's what they're taught. That is what molds the future. So the question, Big Bang or the Creator? I have questions with both. Do I believe both of them? Nah. No, why should I? Why? They're and by me saying, Creator, by me saying I don't believe in a creator, right? If I had prayed every time I had adversity in my life, or if I had turned my cheek every time somebody slapped me on the cheek, I probably wouldn't be here. You teach children to believe in themselves. You don't teach them to pray. You teach them to believe in themselves. That's one of the things that really grips me about everything at the moment. And then we have the other one. The other side of it, right? This is the first question. The first question. How did it all start? And then the questions that I'm noticing, that this isn't globers against flat earthers, right? This is about division. The globers do say, well, what's at the end of the ice wall? What's at the end of it? What comes after the ice wall? A dome? What's after the dome? What's after the dome? Okay? So if it's flat, what's after? What's after dome? Well, look, seriously, what's after the furthest part you can see at the end of the universe with the Hubble telescope or the James Webb? What's after the universe end? Right? It's the same thing. We don't know. We don't know. Don't people get this? We don't know how it started. We don't know what's at the end up there. We don't, look, I can't say the ice wall because I haven't seen it yet, but that's where we go to next. Folks, I want to keep this to 15 minutes. Oh, that's good. Because for the first time, I feel like I need to write stuff down and do stuff in order. I can't just come up here and wing it anymore. It's fucking, Right. In my observations, what I'm noticing more than anything, right, is the division. It's right here again. And another thing, at my age, I'm unsure of the shape of the planet that I live on. Planet, thing, Earth. These are the things that people are missing here. I'm not religious. I never have been. And now all of a sudden, firmament possibility, flat Earth. What is that? Don't forget that. Globers, when you freaking having a go at me, I was one of you all of my life. This is another thing I'm going to say while we're here, and I've still got a few minutes left. The common sense thing. Something terrible has happened, right? Because I'm explaining things, and I know. Listen, I'm no scientist, or I'm not a teacher, right? But I'm explaining things sometimes, and it's more the Globers. You just don't get some things. Listen, it's true. This is from the heart. It's not scripted, right? You guys, you always want answers to other questions. I'm going back and forward with a friend, and my friend said, so where does the sun go? If it's flat, where does the sun go? At night, if it's flat, we will always see it. And I get that, right? And, oh no, I said something that this couldn't happen. And then she came back and said, oh, well, where's the sun? Where does it go? This is what is happening, folks. People don't understand this. We're going around in circles because when I'm asked, all right, where does the sun go at night? And I give an explanation, right? And I can give an explanation, but people, instead of doing that, they're going, no. Well, how can a midnight sun happen in Norway on a globe if they're all down at this angle spinning? It's impossible. And then the other person can go, oh, yeah, all right, well, how does this work then? That's counterproductive. That's division. That's arguing. That's not answering the questions. There needs to be, and it shouldn't be up to us. It should be the freaking educators who are teaching the children. But I've got to say this, right? Because I've been a Glober all of my life, and I had no reason. I never had a reason. Because this is another smoking gun for me. How is it possible that I had never even heard about the flat earth till I was 55 or 56? These are the things, and then all of a sudden, all of these people, look, you put one and one together, it's hard to come up with two here, but there are smoking guns. There are a lot of lies being told. What are we on? 12. There are a lot of lies being told. And here's the truth. The truth. We do not know how it started. We don't know. All the different fossils and dinosaurs, and even dinosaurs are up for freaking questioning. Everything. There are different types of people on Earth right now. Some of us can think logically, right? And we have common sense, and we can. Others, you're struggling in this department, and you are not willing to listen. You're so convinced that your globe is correct, you will not listen. And that is where the division is started and is happening. And it shouldn't be happening, because at this stage of the game in our fucking lives, to not know, to not be able to agree on whether it's flat or round, that is the smoking gun. And people need to understand that we are in this together. This is just the way it's going back and forth. And it's, well, I've got 3 friends in 2 different countries. And I'm like, not too much stress. One of them a little bit. It's like, well, I don't know. But you need to just, everybody wind necks in and start answering questions instead of coming back with another question. Look, to be continued, right? But folks, we're in this together. There's one thing for sure. Those questions we do not know. So in between, we have to sort ourselves out, don't we? Go. All right. God, I don't know if that's going to be a wrap, but it's going to have to do for now. All right, folks, I will be back. Peace out.